Hi, hello everyone, and welcome back to Conversation with. This is gonna be a good one. This one here is gonna be a good one, okay? So just stick with me, and then I will tell you eventually where I'm going with this. Alright. So basically, I'm reading Joshua. I've been reading this same passage for the past 2 weeks, trying to understand why it's captured me so much. This passage has just like entangled itself into me. It's like God is trying to show me something, and I'm just trying to pay attention to every word. I'm trying to pay attention to every little details and everything that happened. And the passage I'm talking about, or the verse I'm talking about, is Joshua 9. Joshua 9, the Gibeonite deception. Okay, now if you remember the last video I done about Archen, or Archen. Some people call him Archen, some people call him Archen. I call him Archen. It makes more sense to call him Archen for me anyways, but I call him Archen. And so basically when Archen sinned, when Archen sinned, God punished everyone in the Israelite nation, but this one here, I won't call it a sin so much. I will call this more of a mistake, more of an overstepping, more of a not looking at the dangers before they appear, not looking at things spiritually, but looking at things carnally, because here are the Israelites, demolishing everything in their path. I mean, they are causing a havoc in the whole entire Jordan region, man. They're killing this king, they're killing that king. So obviously, it only makes sense that people will be afraid of them, right? People are scared, people are afraid. They're looking like they don't know where to go, they have nowhere else to go. Mind you, it's like ages way back, in the Middle East, Time was brutal, If you were not an Israelite, sheesh, life was peak for you. So basically, Israelites are killing everyone, and there was there were three kings who I mean, there were some kings, I don't know, I forgot whether it was three or not, but there were some kings who banded together and wanted to fight the Israelites, They were like, okay, cool, we're gonna come together and fight the Israelites. But there was one city, one town, one place where they were like, you know what? These guys, they're killing everyone and everything in their path. You know what? Let's go trying to see how we can save ourselves. So what they did is they wore like worn-out clothes, torn-out clothes, and stuff like that. And then they took old bread, with like mold on it and everything. They put it on a donkey. Man, the Bible loves donkeys, man. As I said donkey, I remember Balaam and the donkey. But anyways, let me get back in. Okay, so they put it on the donkey, and then they walk like, okay, I'm just assuming they walk like 5 miles or something, to the Israelite camp. But then when they got to the Israelite camp, they made it look like they walked for ages, for months, because they were like, when we put the loaf of bread on the donkey, the loaf was warm, our clothes weren't torn and stuff like that. Those clothes that they were torn, they literally got it, like the Bible says it, they got it from homeless people. These people are geniuses, I mean, they're sinners, but they're genius sinners. So they deceived the Israelites, okay? And this is the point I'm gonna make, okay? This is the point I'm gonna make, okay? They deceived the Israelites because if you read on and then you get to Deuteronomy. Sorry, I've been reading Deuteronomy for a long time, okay? Joshua 9. If you get to Joshua 9, chapter 14, it says this. The Israelites sampled their provisions. So they sampled all the clothes, all the donkeys and all the bread and all the food and stuff like that. They sampled the provision but did not inquire the Lord. Then Joshua made a treaty of peace with them and let them leave, and the leader of the assembly ratified it by an oath. You see, sometimes as Christians, we don't put our guards up every time. Yeah, our guard is up, but sometimes we let it down. And when we let it down, the devil have a funny way to just kind of sniggle into your life, okay? All Joshua had to do there, all the Israelites had to do there was, okay, give us a day or two, let us talk to God, see what he says about this. You get what I'm saying? But no, they went through their own mind. They went through what the eyes could see. They didn't go there spiritually. They were fooled by their eyes, by their own eyes, you know. And so they made a decision that wasn't wise. And if you read on, you see that now they have to pay the price for what isn't right, like what wasn't spiritually right. But you know, I just didn't want to talk about Deuteronomy 9. Okay, I also wanted to talk about Deuteronomy 9. I didn't want to talk about Joshua 9. I also wanted to talk about Numbers 21. Because if we go back to Numbers 21, okay, and this is why it took me so long to do this video, because actually God was putting words into my heads about a passage that I read before, and then he kind of put it on me to go look for it. He put the passages in my head, he didn't give me the passages. So, you know, I had to go mad just searching on my Bible for it, okay? And so we're gonna go back. If you can pause this video and turn your Bible to Numbers 21. We're gonna read the whole passage of Numbers 21, verse 1 to verse 3. Okay, so here we go. So when the Canaanites, king of Arab, who lived in the Negev, heard that the Israelites was coming along the road to Athrin, he attacked the Israelites and captured some of them. Then the Israelites made these vows to the Lord: if you deliver these people into our hands, we will totally destroy them, their city and their cities. Okay. And the Lord listened to the Israelite plea and gave the Canaanites over to them. They completely destroyed them in their town, so that the place was named Hormah. Okay, so here's one passage where the Israelites saw something happening with their eyes and they went for the Lord. You get what I'm saying? But in that time, it was during peak time. You get what I'm saying? The Israelites, like, you have to remember, they've been walking around the whole entire desert for a long time now. They're tired. They're physically, spiritually, and mentally tired. Some of the guys got captured. They need God's help, so they're going to ask God's help. You know, Deuteronomy 9. Now they're thriving. You know, they're beating up everyone. They're a little bit more relaxed. It's easy to get to them. Okay, let's look at another passage. Okay, let's look at if you want to pause it and move to Numbers 31, because that's another one the Lord has put into my mind. Numbers 31 says this: the Lord said to Moses, take and avenge the Midianites and the Israelites. After that, you will gather your people. Okay, and if you read on, you're gonna see it's for the vengeance of the Midianites when Balaam and the donkey tricked the Israelite into sinning with the I think it was the women of Moab, and the women of Moab. And the Israelites went there, they killed everyone, and they only kept the women and the children alive. And Moses was like, when those children that you kept, those women that you kept alive, weren't them the same women who tricked you into sinning against the Lord? Why did you bring them here? Because sometimes when we do stuff as well, although we can see that is wrong, because our heart and what we want trumps what God's want, we do what we want anyways. You get what I'm saying? So that was red flag number 2. That was up, and then I started seeing this pattern. You know, the pattern of the Israelites just falling into what their eyes is doing for them. You know, they need God when they see that they need God, and they don't need God when they don't see that they need God. You get what I'm saying? So Numbers 21, when I read it, they didn't go to God because God is this amazing creature that they've been loving all this time. They went to God because they needed God, you know. And Numbers 31, they didn't go to God because they didn't go to God because they were like, oh, we need God for this. They left God alone because they were like, we're gonna sort this out ourselves. And Numbers 9 and Joshua 9, you know, again they were like, okay, we can sort this out ourselves. It's a gray area, you know. They didn't ask the counsel of God. They went through what they thought themselves. Okay, and now this is what I wanted to come to. Okay, Deuteronomy 8. Like I said, I read Deuteronomy for a long time, so I know some passages, you know, like very well. So Deuteronomy 8, if you read the whole passage, it says, do not forget the Lord. Okay, and this is what Moses wrote before he died in Deuteronomy. He said, be careful to follow every command I am giving you today, so that you may live and increase, and may enter the possess the land that the Lord promised on oath to your ancestors. So the land that they gave to the Gibeonites in Joshua 9 was the land that they were meant to keep for themselves. You know, the land that they gave away so easily and cheaply because they were easily fooled and they didn't go and ask the Lord if what they were doing was right, was the land that was meant to be theirs, you know. And if you read on, now you see that the people who didn't make the decision, so, you know, the elders made a decision for the whole Israelites, and the Israelites are like, yo, this is our land, this is our stuff, you know. Yo, how can you give our stuff away? And again, it shows again that your decision that you make for yourself impact other people in your congregation, in your family, in your team. So, you know, before you make a decision, make sure you ask for the Lord's counsel. Make sure you get God's help, because it's easy for us to just get fooled by our eyes. You know, it's easy to look at someone who looks a little bit desperate, and then we just go over without asking God whether it's right for me to go over or for it'd be wiser for me to stay back. You know, we're just too quick to think for ourselves and not ask God for help. You know, so I pray, you know, that this passage has opened your eyes to something, has enlightened you with something. You know, I pray that God has put something in your heart so that you when you go to your next battles in life spiritually, you know, you can ask God's help and not trying to do it for yourself. You know, it's not by might, it's not by power, but by the Spirit of the Lord everything is done. You know, so that's what I'm gonna say. This is Conversation with. You know, I hope you like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!